But let's go back to insurance, and I want to kind of finish what we were talking about. So this is kind of what I see happening, and could be wrong, guys. I'm wrong about a lot of shit, but I'm also right sometimes. So we got a new governor in Louisiana. Look, this ain't political, guys, but I think he's going to end up being a good governor. And you're seeing, like you said, the insurance rates rising in Florida. So you saw a huge influx of people moving to Florida over the past couple of years. So obviously now I would venture to say that a lot of people that bought houses in Florida probably couldn't afford what they bought, or they could barely afford it. And now the insurance is going to price them out of Florida. So where are they going to go? Well, they're going to go into states that are cheaper, that are close, that have similar climates. So I think Louisiana will actually see an influx of people. Now, what our governor is going to have to do is say, hey, State Farm or Liberty Mutual, Progressive, all these insurance companies, if you want to write car insurance policies, you have to write homeowner insurance policies. You can't just pick what you want to do because it's more profitable. So I think that would be the simplest solution. And I think, obviously people getting more educated on deductibles and, what they can do to lower their premiums, like, so we can have push both ways. I think that's a solution. So in the long term, we're going to see those prices come down, but it is kind of crazy how much they've gone up in certain areas.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's already regulations similar to that that are in place now, right? Where insurance companies have, they can't pick and choose a lot of times, that they're required to do multiple lines at a certain amount. And I'm not an expert. I don't know the numbers. So insurance experts out there might be like screaming through their headphones. But we do understand that it's a difficult dynamic that all states are dealing with. I think the reality of the whole formula is, until we get some sort of substantial change, and it would probably be something that we would maybe not like, because, for instance, flood insurance has been less expensive than market for a long time. In fact, Louisiana as a state, we got the best deal in the world for flood insurance for a long time. We got so much more out of that entire program than we paid in, right? Mm-hmm. And so, the government's coming back and they're like, we're losing money. So it's very difficult because there were so many storms. But I guess all of these roads lead to the top line probably has to come down for all the numbers to work. Mm-hmm. Because we may think and we may feel, and we may be right that there's an insurance problem. We may feel and think, and we may be right that there's other problems in the cost of acquiring real estate in certain ways. But at the end of the day, the governor cannot make a company that says we're just going to leave. And that means we're going to leave everything because the numbers don't work. It's in our interest, right? All states, it's in our interest to make it financially viable for both parties. Mm-hmm. And so we're just trying to work our way through that. So the more difficult it is, the more I like it, because again and again, as a millennial, like I'm on the older side of millennial, but I'm still a millennial, grew up with a Nintendo controller in my hand. I love this because I think there's going to be a lot of people, maybe baby boomers, that are ready to retire or whatever. And I'm giving you a long answer, but they're going to go, you know what? I'm tired of all this. I just want to sell it. And there's going to be people like me and you and that are going to be there. They're going to be like, I'll take this on. And long term, it'll be our turn to create cash flow and wealth and all of that. So, what do you think about what you see in insurance? I mean, as an adjuster, like, look, the cost of everything has gone up. Mm-hmm. So the cost of, like, when you're writing adjustments on insurance policies, the premiums are going up because the cost of everything went up. The cost to replace your house, every component has virtually gone up. And you just see it going around the wheel of inflation, right? It's like lumber's down, and then electrical wire's down, and then this is down. It just keeps going around and around. Then it's up again. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah. So again, you talk about like imperfect systems, and I would definitely say that insurance would clearly be, an imperfect system. And the way I look at it is like a pendulum swinging, and the pendulum swings different directions. And I think for a long time, the pendulum has swung in the direction of the insurance carriers, and it benefited them. Then when all these storms starts happening, then people start wising up on how it actually works. People start lawyering up. people start getting, general contractors, people getting people to, public adjusters. So you have these different segments that really, really took hit after hit with these insurance companies. So what you're seeing is the pendulum swinging the other direction. Now, what's going to happen going forward? Well, what I think is going to happen is more people are going to start self-insuring, because it doesn't make sense what's happening. Like, for example, like I live in St. Bernard Parish. We put up a giant federal protection flood levee wall, but our flood insurance went up. That doesn't even make sense. You would think it would go down. So the federal government hasn't been able to really give us any quantifiable data on why the flood insurance would be going up. But you are right. Flood insurance in Louisiana has been underpriced for a long time. But what I think people are going to start doing there, believe it or not, there's a lot of people in Louisiana whose houses are paid off. And, if they live in a brick house, maybe they're going to say, you know what, let's just get a fire policy. Let's just get a fire and a flood policy, and we're going to get rid of the wind, because the hurricane deductible is so high that it doesn't pay for anything anyway. And if we have a brick house with a good roof on it, we should be pretty much good, so they can get a cheap fire policy. So I think, the consumer has to adjust a little bit too. And you have to let the free market, take course. You obviously, I said I want, the governor to be harder on these insurance companies. No. I don't want the government involved in insurance really at all. But the problem is it just seems that they've had a cozy relationship with previous administrations where they're able to do this to us with no recourse. So again, the pendulum is swinging, and now we just need it to swing back our way.